Brothers and sisters, if you are listening to this and your heart feels tired, if you are wondering whether anyone sees you, if the nights feel long and the road feels empty, I want you to hear this, gently but firmly. You are not alone. The shepherd never forgets even one sheep. Not one. Not even you. There is a place for you. Not when you are better. Not when you are fixed. But right now, just as you are. Sometimes we get lost. Not in a forest or a city or a storm, but in ourselves. We lose our way quietly. It can happen slowly over days or years. A sadness creeps in. A disappointment settles deep. The voice of hope grows faint. And we find ourselves far from where we once were, unsure how we got there or how to return. I remember a woman I met in a small village. She came to me after Mass, her eyes filled with tears. "Father," she said, "I don't pray anymore. I don't know how. I used to feel God close, but now nothing." I held her hand and I listened. Her pain was not dramatic, but it was real. She was not angry, only tired. Her soul had gone quiet. That is how many people feel. Not defiant, just distant. But Jesus is not afraid of our silence. He walks into the emptiness. He seeks out the one who wandered, not to scold, but to carry them back. He tells the story of the shepherd who leaves the 99 to search for the one. Not because that one was more special, but because none can be left behind. That is the gospel. You see, being lost does not mean being unloved. It simply means we need to be found again. And God, our Father, never stops looking. Never. Not when we are buried in shame. Not when we feel invisible. Not even when we have turned our face away. He comes in the wind, in a kind word, in a stranger's compassion. He comes in the breaking of bread and in the stillness of night when no one else is near. And if you feel far today, I ask you, just lift your eyes for a moment. There is someone searching for you, calling your name, gently, patiently, lovingly. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. The road home begins with a single step. Take it, even if it is trembling, even if you're not sure. The shepherd is near. Come, let yourself be found. There is a kind of pain we carry that no one sees. It beneath the surface, behind the smile, behind the routine, behind the "I'm fine." It may be a wound from long ago, a betrayal we never speak of, a grief that has quietly hollowed out a corner of the heart. And sometimes we are tempted to hide it even from God. We cover it, we bury it, we pretend it isn't there. But grace is not afraid of our wounds. Grace does not turn away. I remember meeting a man in a shelter who had lost everything. His job, his family, his dignity. He told me, people look at me and only see the dirt. They don't see the story, but God does. God sees not just the dirt, but the soul beneath it. He sees the tears cried in secret. He knows where it hurts, and that is where He begins. That is where mercy enters, not in the polished parts of us, but in the broken ones. Jesus did not shy away from wounds. He touched the leper. He wept at the tomb. He showed His own scars after the resurrection, His body glorified, still bore the wounds of love. This is the mystery we're forgetting. It's the wound that becomes the doorway. It is the place we think disqualifies us that becomes the place of healing. So I ask you gently, what have you been hiding? What pain have you kept locked away? Let it speak. Let it breathe. Let it be held by the one who understands. There is no shame in being wounded. There is only danger in pretending we are not. Do not fear your weakness. Let it become your prayer. Let it draw you into the arms of the one who said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." That promise is still true, even now, even for you. Let mercy find you there. Let grace enter. And when it does, when the light touches that tender place, do not run. Stay. Stay and be made new. There is a voice many carry inside, one that whispers, "You are your failure. You are your sin. You are what you have done." It speaks with shame, and often we begin to believe it. We see ourselves through the eyes of judgment, not mercy. And yet, God sees differently. God sees deeper. I once visited a prison and met a young man who would not lift his head. "I've ruined everything," he said. "I don't deserve another chance." I sat with him in silence, and then I said what I believe with all my heart to you. You are more than what you have done. You are not your worst moment. You are still a son. You are still loved. This is the truth. The gospel shouts, and the world so often forgets. Jesus met a woman accused, surrounded by those ready to condemn. But He knelt, wrote in the dust, and said, "Let the one without sin cast the first stone." One by one they left, and He did not say, "You are unworthy." He said, "Go and sin no more," not to shame her, but to free her, because He saw more in her than others could see. He sees more in you too. God does not define us by our failures. He defines us by His love. You are not your addiction. You are not your past. You are not your secrets. You are a beloved child, still held, still called, still invited. Let that truth take root. Let it break the chains of shame. Let it rise like morning light over the shadows of your story. And when you are tempted to hide, remember this. The father runs to meet the prodigal, not with a list of wrongs, but open arms. So come. Come with your regrets, your fears, your wounds. Come not to be judged, but to be restored. Come to the truth that frees. You are more. You are loved. You are still being written into the story of mercy. There are moments in life when we look for great signs, dramatic changes, loud answers, miracles that arrive with thunder. But love, the kind that heals and saves, often comes in small things, in the everyday, in what seems unnoticed. I remember a grandmother I met in a poor village. She had nothing by the world's standards. Yet every morning she would sweep the dusty path outside her neighbor's home just to make it a little easier for him to walk. It's a little thing, she told me, but I want him to know someone cares. That is what the gospel looks like. It is sweeping a path, sharing a piece of bread, offering a kind word when silence would be easier. Jesus did not only perform mighty works. He sat at tables, he touched the sick, he blessed children, he washed feet. He noticed the widow who gave her last coin. He stopped for the one who called out from the roadside. He showed us that greatness lies in love made small. In a world that celebrates speed, power, and noise, the quiet acts of mercy can feel invisible, but God sees. And these acts, however small, create ripples of grace that travel further than we know. A visit to someone lonely, a hand on a shoulder, a prayer whispered when no one hears. These are seeds of hope planted in the soil of everyday life. Let us not wait for perfection before we love. Let us not believe the lie that we have nothing to give. If you have a smile, a listening ear, a moment of patience, you have something sacred to offer. Do not withhold it. The poor, the broken, the tired, they are waiting for the kindness that only you can give. So begin there. Begin with what you have. And if you think it is too little, remember God multiplied 5 loaves and 2 fish to feed thousands. He can take your small act of love and turn it into a feast of grace. Start with the small. Love with your hands. And trust that nothing done with love is ever waste. No one heals alone. No one rises alone. No one walks the road of life without needing a hand, a shoulder, a companion. Even Jesus did not walk alone. He called disciples. He wept with friends. He asked them to stay awake with him in his hour of sorrow. He taught us not only to pray, but to walk together, because the path of hope is not meant to be a solitary one. I remember visiting a refugee camp once. where families lived in makeshift shelters, held together with canvas and courage. There was a boy who had lost his father. He didn't speak much. He kept to himself. But one afternoon, another child, maybe just a year older, came and sat beside him. No words, just presence, just two children sitting in the dust. And slowly something changed. The silence between them became friendship. They began to play. They began to smile. There, in a place marked by loss, I saw the quiet miracle of communion. One soul reaching for another. That is where healing begins. We need each other. The strong need the weak. The found need the lost. The church is not a club for the perfect. It is a field hospital for the wounded. We are called to carry one another, to walk together, especially when the way is dark. When you feel far from God, let someone walk with you. When you see someone falling behind, slow your pace. Wait for them. Carry what they cannot carry alone. This is the heart of the gospel. And if you feel broken, if you feel forgotten, come. You belong. Not when you're better. No. Come with your wounds. Come with your doubts. Come just as you are. There is room for you. Let us be a people who make room for the grieving, the lost, the lonely. Let us walk with each other. Let us rise together, because when we walk together, we discover that hope is not a destination. It is a way of being, a way of loving, a way of saying to the world, you are not alone. So come and walk, and bring someone with you. This is how the world begins to heal, one soul at a time, hand in hand, step by step. And so, dear brothers and sisters, if you remember only one thing, let be this: you are not alone, not in your sorrow, not in your questions, not even in your silence. There is a love that has never left you, not for one moment. There is a hand reaching out through the gospel, through the stranger, through the simplest act of kindness, to draw you back into life, into communion. The world will try to tell you that you are only as worthy as your success, only as good as your last achievement. But the gospel tells us something more beautiful. You are beloved, even in your weakness. You are wanted. Even when you feel unwanted, you are found, even when you feel lost. Let us return to the path of mercy. Let us build a world where no one walks alone. Let us be the voice that says, you matter. Let us be the hands that lift, the hearts that listen, the leaves that shine with compassion. If you've been waiting for a sign, let this be it. Begin again. Start small. Love deeply. And do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to live with tenderness, to forgive, to hope, to try again. Because when we do these things, when we love, when we listen, when we walk together, we are not just surviving, we are proclaiming the kingdom of God. May the Lord bless you, guide you, and walk with you always. Good luck on the road ahead. And from the depths of my heart, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hoping. Thank you for being willing to love.